Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Is It Worth Powering Up? So, I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these, but we're here today with one. And in today's episode, we're going to be going ahead and discussing Terrakion here, since Terrakion, if you guys don't know, is going to be replacing Cobalion in Tier 5 raids beginning November 26th from November 26th till December 17th. So, yeah. And just to let you guys know a little, real quick before we dive into this Pokemon's information here, as you guys are watching this video, tomorrow is in fact going to be my birthday, so I'm going to still have a raid up for you guys tomorrow morning. However, I may do a live stream. I'm not too sure. We'll see. Depends on how things go. But for the most part, I might not be really doing much for that day. I might just be going out and just having fun, just taking the day off. So just to let you guys know. And then also, I'm going to be having a video pretty soon. I believe maybe on the 23rd of November. So on Saturday. And I'm going to be going over the new Community Day feature in December, which is going to be pretty darn sweet because there's a lot to talk about in that. And a lot of everybody's already gone over these, but I'm still going to give you guys my thoughts on it for sure. But in this video, we're going to go ahead and discuss Terrakion and whether or not this Pokemon is worth powering up. So if you guys are excited, hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are excited for Terrakion and for December's Community Day. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this Pokemon's information. So with that being said, here is Terrakion with a max CP of 3,698. Terrakion is a dual-type rock and fighting with an attack of 260, defense of 192, and stamina of 209. So, scrolling down to the weaknesses here, it is going to be weak to fairy, fighting, grass, ground, psychic, steel, and water, while resisting bug, dark, fire, normal, poison, and rock. So, Terrakion does have a bit more weaknesses, but that's actually going to be good, obviously, for when you guys want to go ahead and battle this Pokemon with your friends and such, because you're going to have a lot of choices of Pokemon that you're going to be able to use to take on this Pokemon. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here real quick. So right off the bat, Terrakion has some really fantastic stats here. Actually ranked 24th in Pokemon Go from other records I've actually watched, especially from FLW video where he went over Terrakion talking about this Pokemon actually being ranked number 24. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Pokemon. Oh, and going back real quick, I'm sorry. It does have some fantastic stats. Attack of 260, which is pretty darn good. But defense of 182 is pretty solid as well, indeed. And it has a fantastic stamina of 209. So this Pokemon is looking really good. So now, let's take a look at the moveset, and let's see how good this thing is really going to be. So for the fast moves, we got Zen Headbutt and Smackdown. And for charge moves, we got Close Combat, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. So, best moveset you want on Terrakion is going to be, of course, that Smackdown and Rock Slide. Terrakion has been, in fact, blessed with a double rock moveset. Unfortunately, however, Terrakion is not going to be shining at all as a fighting attacker because it does not have access to a fast fighting type move. So, unfortunately, it does not have that, which they gave a Zen Headbutt, which unfortunately is not going to help it at all to perform well on that fighting side. But on the rock type side, it's going to be performing fantastic. Now, granted, it's not going to be the best rock type attacker in the game. It's still going to be outclassed by Rampardos, which we're going to take a look at a chart showcasing all that in just a moment. But despite that, I still think this is going to be a Pokemon worth powering up because while it is going to be a legendary and it's going to be pretty expensive, this Pokemon is going to be fantastic. It's going to be worth the investment, and I personally cannot wait to invest in some Terrakion because Terrakion, this Pokemon definitely has potential to be really good as a rock attacker. So I definitely cannot wait to do some raids for Terrakion. Definitely worth doing. Cobalion was just, it was cool in the beginning, but it's just not that good, unfortunately. It's just not worth powering up at all. But Terrakion, on the other hand, is actually worth the investment, and is actually going to be the best out of the current Sword of Justice Pokemon that we know for sure is going to be getting. For now, we're going to exclude Keldeo because most likely that's going to be introduced via special research. So, for now, we're going to exclude Keldeo. So, now, with that being said, now that we've seen what this Pokemon stats are, let's go ahead and take a look at this chart that I found on GamePress. and we're gonna take a look to see where Terrakion stands. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up that chart, and I will see you guys there. Alright guys, so here is the chart here. It's showcasing all the best rock type Pokemon in the game that are going to be on the list on the top page here. So like I mentioned before, coming in at number 1 is of course going to be Rampardos with that Smackdown and Rock Slide moveset with a DPS of 18.4 and a TDO of 370.8. So as you guys see, Rampardos is surpassing Terrakion on that DPS. It's actually in a league of its own. If so, basically, you know, Rampardos is just that darn good. So coming in, and then right after Rampardos is going to, of course, be of course Terrakion. So Terrakion is going to be just behind Rampardos with that Smackdown and Rock Slide. I do apologize for this thing popping up here. With that Smackdown and Rock Slide, with a DPS of 15.6 and a TDO of 505 here. Interestingly enough, it shows 15.6, while Pokemon Go Hub actually shows as 14.9. So, but we'll go with this because this is a bit more accurate here. So, as you guys see, the big difference between the two is that Rampardos has more DPS, but lesser TDO. So Rampardos is going to be fainting a lot more quicker than Terrakion is. While Terrakion doesn't have the more raw power than Rampardos, it is going to be lasting longer in the battle. So basically, long story short, Terrakion is going to be the longer version, the longer survivor basically out of those two. So it's pretty fantastic, honestly. So it's looking really good on the rock side for sure. Then coming in, and right after Terrakion, we got Tyranitar with that Smackdown, which is actually going to be exclusive to his Community Day move. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys don't know, this is going to also be available to you guys during Community Day on December 14th and the 15th, which we're going to go over that in another video. So definitely want to look into this for sure. Smackdown Stone Edge Tyranitar has a DPS of 14.4 and the TDO of 532. So actually, out of these three, Tyranitar actually has more TDO than both Terrakion and Rampardos. Rampardos has more DPS, while Terrakion is basically in the middle between the three. But Terrakion in general is still going to be fantastic, and Terrakion is going to be surpassing Tyranitar on the DPS for sure. So Terrakion is definitely a Pokemon you definitely want to do some raids for sure. As far as PvP goes, I don't think it's going to be that good in PvP, but in against gyms and raids, it's going to be fantastic, especially against Pokemon that are double weak to rock, basically. So it's going to be really good. So definitely may want to invest in Terrakion for sure. Then coming in at number 4, we got Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide with a DPS of 14.32 and a DPS at 0.0 and a TDO of 347. So not looking too great. Aerodactyl's a bit of a glass cannon, but it's not a bad attacker whatsoever. Then we got Rhyperior with Smackdown and Stone Edge with a TDO of DPS of 13.9 and a TDO of 529 actually. So Rhyperior does have more TDO than Terrakion, but DPS wise, it's just not a point with the top 3, which is Rampardos, Terrakion, and Tyranitar. And then we got Gigalith, which is not in the game yet, but Gigalith will be around soon. Also has Smackdown and Rock Slide with a DPS of 13.7 and a TDO of 438. So not too bad there. And then the list goes on. We have Omastar with double legacy moveset with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. DPS of 13.0. TDO of 365. And then we have Gigalith again with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Alolan Golem with the Rock Throw Stone Edge. And then finally Golem with Rock Throw and Stone Edge as well. So looking at this chart, you guys, this chart pretty much speaks for itself. Terrakion is going to be fantastic on the rock type moveset. On the fighting type moveset, however, it is going to be outclassed by other fighting types like Machamp, Lucario, if it does happen to get access to Oris here, which shout out to Kev, which I know that Lucario is his favorite. So, and of course he loves his Rampardos as well. So shout out to my boy Kev if he's watching. So, but Terrakion is going to be fantastic on the rock side. On the fighting side, not so much. So, there you go. There you go. Those are the numbers on Terrakion. So, Terrakion definitely has a shine. It's going to be looking really good for the most part. Okay, so in conclusion, is this Pokemon worth powering up? Once again, I'm going to tell you guys, yes, it is worth powering up because with some impressive stats of this magic suit right here, and access to Smackdown and Rock Slide, this is going to be a fantastic rock type attacker. But if you're going to invest in it for fighting, I wouldn't really recommend it on the fighting side. You definitely want to use this Pokemon more for a rock on the rock type side, because it is actually going to be surviving longer than Rampardos, and there might be people that might not actually have access to a single Rampardos. So if you don't have Rampardos, this is going to be the next best rock type Pokemon in the game that you're definitely going to want to do some raids for, because this is going to be a really good Pokemon, and you definitely want to go ahead and do some raids for, because if you don't have Rampardos, you may want to go ahead and really do some Terrakion raids, because this is going to be a great Pokemon and a fantastic Musketeer here as well. So, and it's my personal favorite out of the Sword of Justice, actually. So, yeah. So there's my thoughts on Terrakion. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this Pokemon. You guys think it's worth powering up? You guys think so? I think it's worth it. It's fantastic. Can't wait to do these raids. It's gonna be a blast. We gotta wait 5 more days for it, but it's all good. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. And I will be having that video of the community day coming up pretty soon. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, because like I said, tomorrow is going to be my birthday. So I'll let you guys know what happens. But you guys will still get an upload tomorrow morning. So as far as I might do a birthday live stream. I'm not sure yet. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.